Bless family, and back again was another useful and fruitful information. So today I got to talk about the black evangelist of the North. So this one, many people speak about slavery and anti-slavery campaigners, and I think they talk about things, but this figure, this person, I don't know why people never talked about him. An African, basically, who campaigned in England here, against the slave trade, and he was one of the he was one of the people that will campaign against the slave authority. Do you understand? So Hatishel Masha Hatish was born around 1859. They said 1859, but they don't know his actual date of birth. He was an African prince, the son of a dinka chief. So his family got killed, possibly by slave traders during the Ottoman Empire. So, and then he got captured by the Ottomans. And then at the time they changed his name to Salim. Right, when they changed his name to Salim, so then by the time when he was 20 or 19 possibly, they took him out from, he was born in Meroe, guys, or Egypt. Meroe is modern day Egypt and Sudan, by the way, if you don't know, in North Africa. So they took him, evangelist or missionaries took him, or bought him, you never know, took him or bought him, because what they've said they took him, but what I say is they bought him. They took him to England, they brought him to England. When they brought him to England in 1880, they brought him to Yorkshire, where what they're saying, East Riding of Yorkshire. If you don't know where East Riding of Yorkshire, just Google it, guys, you know about it. So this, when he came here, he faced a lot of hostility. He faced a lot of struggles, discrimination, and possibly by a lot of people at the time. You imagine, if you're born at that time when the slavery was heavy and massive. So you imagine what's going to happen. So he started learning English, and then after we got better and learned English a bit proper, then after that, they become a missionary. They're saying they become a missionary and start campaigning. By the time by the time of 1928, exactly, I think that matched the time when Morocco ended the slave trade. So he started campaigning against the slave trade heavily and heavily after he got educated and now knew how to speak English properly. So then he started campaigning in Yorkshire, and saying that even though he made a lot of visit to East Riding, Yorkshire, but he never lived right there. But he lived around Barnsley. Yeah, Barnsley is one of them guys. You need to Google Barnsley, Wakefield, and Scunthorpe. So he was a localer basically. I think he got really fine with the people, and but you never know, because you already know the slavery guys. So he campaigned thoroughly, and then by the time also when he made a fervent plea, he said that basically that the slavery must end, especially in Africa, all around the world, China, America, all of that area. And we're not sure if the people listened to him, but he made that. And also, he made a lot of lectures, he spoke in a lot of places around Yorkshire and East Riding of Yorkshire, where he spoke about his life and his horrendous life, that when he was a slave back in Marawi, possibly by the Ottomans. Again, if you don't know the Ottomans, you need to Google the Ottoman Empire, guys. Why I'm saying the Ottoman Empire? Because the Ottoman Empire, a lot of people confuse the Ottoman Empire, Arabs and things like that. I think there's too much distortion of the truth right there. But the time that we got captured and he was a slave, that's the time of the Ottoman Empire, right? But okay, so then I think when he got to about 70 or 79 and things like that, so he become really frail and can't really move around and couldn't, so he stayed around Scunthorpe. He stayed around there with his wife, was suffered from arthritis, so he had to look after his wife and things like that. But when he was old, he tried to claim, a pension, old pension at age or something like that, but he got denied. But we don't know why, because of course he's going to get denied, because you're a black person, especially a slave or a servant at that time, it's very hard to get a pension. Do you know what I mean? So he got denied a pension, but then when he died, also, guys, he died in a hospital. Do you know what I mean? He died in a charity hospital, or a charity hospital. It's heinous, guys. It's heinous. He died in a charity hospital. Nobody looked after him or anything like that. He died around 1946. That possibly 1946. That's around the Second World War. Uh, why I'm bringing this because he's, this gentleman, what, when he come to England as well, he changed his name, by the way. His name's Salim Charles Wilson. Salim Charles Wilson. That's the name that he, a lot of people don't know him. So if you search the archive, you might not find a lot of information about him in the archive, apart from, African in Yorkshire website, and other maybe the universities that spoke about him as well. Some university in Manchester and that, but not much has been said about him. He died and they buried him alongside his wife. So also when I searched about him a lot, about his wife and family, I don't see anything really about him or about his family, apart from him just talking and campaigning against the slave trade. But so, guys, I hope you learn this information from me, guys. He's a son, he's an African prince, and that's what I told you earlier, guys. So if you like this information, give it a thumbs up and subscribe, guys. Do you know what I mean? Don't forget that, because I bring you always hot topic and information that is not being found on the internet that much, and people don't talk about it that a lot. And I think that's why it's not being celebrated. It's not being venerated, this gentleman. Do you know what I mean? Because they saying that when he was born in Meroe, you have to understand that Meroe was Egypt and Sudan at the time. So possibly the Ottoman Empire at the time killed his family, because his family from a higher, his family was chief of the dinka, and the chief of the dinka is not something easy back in Meroe, North Africa. So if you don't know, Meroe is North Africa. Look at it in the map, because Meroe now you don't see it, but now known as Sudan, present day Sudan, and southern south of Egypt, or southern Egypt. I think, guys, you should learn this information. So Salim Charles Wilson. Now it goes by the name Salim Charles Wilson, and the other one is, he changed his name. They changed his name. Yes. Why they changed his name again? They changed his name because they have to match him as a Muslim name. They gave him a Muslim name, Salim. Salim is a Muslim, or Salim is a Muslim name, guys. So I think, what you think about that? What you think about the slavery back then? Do you think they people shed a lot of light on this, or no? I think no, not really. No people shed, not a lot of people that spoke about this. You know, leader, or a bit this person. But right now, there you go, guys. There you have it. You know, you can go and visit the place as well. 'Cause also, they said after he died as well, uh, there's a few of the Denka group that went over there to see where he was at the time. Also, if you look at in the museum as well, they're saying that in 1901, that's what he had a picture with Unamasa. Well, if you don't know Unamasa, also that's another topic, guys. I'm gonna have to tell you about that later on in another video. So, and he's pictured as well along on with the Wilberforce as well. So there you go, guys. The Black Evangelist of the North in England. All right, bless, bless, family. Stay blessed, family. Bye.